Today we'll be talking about conflict resolution. Unresolved internal conflict can be very costly to the human being, simply because conflict is inevitable, is normal, and a fact of life. However, how do you deal with this conflict? How do you manage this conflict? Is your internal conflict managed properly? If so, it could initiate positive change. But if not, it could have you seeking for a better life without you taking care of home base first and foremost. We are now referring to the first quarter moon week of the Resonant moon. The quarter moon takes place on January 3rd, 2020, and this quarter moon takes place on a Friday or purified day. So Fridays in manipulating the matrix are titled purified days, and the focus of purification days is the third eye chakra, and this is a time to bring in action to the spiritual. This day is best found through releasing bodily toxins through drinking water, removing negative thoughts through meditation, and connecting the positive energy, going out and having a good time. This practice revolves around the internal conflict that we may be having and how we resolve it. Resonant moons, however, are about your feelings, emotions, and thoughts toward your feelings and emotions. By being realistic about these things, we deal with the blocks to our initial intention we have set in the previous week. So don't get discouraged because things haven't manifested as quickly as you like. Yet, don't be too arrogant, imagining that everything is done because some things have manifested early. A quick question. How are your emotions, feelings, and thoughts affecting your decision-making and actions? A quick journal exercise to do in your Manipulating the Matrix workbook is to simply ask yourself, when you feel blank, you are prone to do blank. And what you will notice is that you may respond to your feelings with specific actions. So changing those actions without changing the root feeling is possibly why the intentions feel stagnant or blocked. So whatever conflict presents itself in your life, there is also a solution that is presented and rooted in your feelings. An example would be if you are overeating. It is not the overeating that you need to really adjust. It is the feelings that conspire you to overeat. So the astrology forecast for December 28th to January 5th, 2020 is centered in knowing your magic. Are you enlightened or are you simply escaping? And the 6 steps to keep your spiritual ego in check this week. See, what we thought might fulfill us at the beginning of the month might not be true throughout this week because we're dealing with the first quarter moon week. So if you have issues, if you have conflicts, will you provide a dynamic solution to this situation, or will you simply just let it go? These will be key questions to answer during a first quarter moon week. So, do you know your magic? Remember that if your intention is not as strong when the adversity comes, you naturally will rethink it, and that's okay. But when you rethink it, is this something that you truly want? Or maybe the beginning of the month, there was a different vibe, a different thought, or a different feeling that was promoting that need. And now that you have your feelings and thoughts and bearing, the things that you want are not the same. Simply, when you were a child and your mom said, we're gonna get ice cream after school, and that's all you thought about was the ice cream. Now, if I was to tell you that as an adult, you would look at me crazy, because once we get our feelings in order, we do not want the same things. Quarter moons allow us to revise, reconsider, and reorganize as we see fit. So if things aren't working out in your favor, and you know that things aren't working out in your favor, do not panic, but simply adjust. And when you adjust, do not lose focus on yourself. The goal is to resolve inner conflict, to actually know what you want. If you know everything that you want before you check in with your feelings, there's a great chance that you absolutely do not absolutely know what you want. So I hope that's not confusing. Moving forward, enlightenment or escaping. A lot of people use spirituality as a form of escapism to not deal with their real problems. And when it comes to true enlightenment, many don't know what that looks like or what that feels like. That is because depersonalization can often look like enlightenment. Running away from our problems often looks like that we were the problem we were actually running from during the quarter moon. So take care of your mind, body, and soul at the same time as observing what arises unconsciously. Understand that the enlightened one is not the one with all of the followers and the most arrogant spiritualists. The enlightened one is the one who is present, honest, and ready to do the work. Are you present in the moment? Are you honest with your feelings? And are you ready to do the work? The last concept that we'll be dealing with is the spiritual ego. Most do not understand the spiritual ego and allow the spiritual ego to take over their world once they step into consciousness. It's like, oh, you're so deep. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so magical. And if you allow this stuff to get into your head, you are really trying to cleanse your trauma or suppress your trauma as opposed to really getting enlightenment from the soul. So throughout this week, I'll give you 6 steps to keep your spiritual ego in check. Step 1, don't overthink your day. Plan your night. So this is a little reverse from normal life. We overthink throughout the day. We don't plan through our nights. And so when it comes to our night, we just go to sleep without planning how we'll sleep and how the next day will be. But if you utilize this workbook and you utilize setting your intentions at night and journaling your dreams, you get all of your planning during the nighttime. So when the day comes, you just automatically step into what you've already planned for yourself. Step 2, don't look at life as black and white and fundamental beliefs. See, because the world is very much gray. The world is very much changing. And if you are centered in fundamental beliefs, if you are centered in right or wrong, you'll think that everything you're doing is right and everything someone else is doing is wrong. And that'll be a block whether you know it or not. Step 3, what works for you should work for you, and that's it. If you're going around telling people how to do their magic, if you're going to telling people how to be enlightened, then you're really stepping outside of your zone. Your magic is your magic, and if it works for you, keep working it. Lao Tzu from The Art of War states that he who knows does not speak, but he who speaks does not know. Step 4, spirituality is not a competition or a race. It's not about having the most followers. It's not about having the most friends. It's not about having the most money. It's not about having particular tokens or attachments that make you more spiritual than the next person. You are spiritual within yourself, and the goal is to be aware of your spirituality. The goal is to be aware of your soul, period, and be present with it. Step 5, it is not an excuse to escape or to be positive. Spirituality is not an excuse to escape your problems, nor is spirituality an excuse to be false positive. Hey, everything is roses. Everything is great. Everything is grand. I'm happy. Da-da-da-da-da. You are not being honest with your thoughts. You are not being honest with your feelings. So your actions will continue to F you up. So finally, there are no followers. There are no leaders. God lives within us all. And the 6th step can be found in the concept Namaste, which represents that God is within me and I recognize the God that is within you. So Namaste to all the people. Be sure to click the link in the description to purchase Manipulating the Matrix so you can get to work on your intentions, dream journals, so forth and so on. To get monthly moon meditations, please click the link on the description and sign up for our email list. If there's anything that you need from me personally, please feel free to email me at hoodmystic@gmail.com. Peace to the family.